And we're right back at it. Listen, man, I like to say, every time I come on, I like to say, and we're back. But I'm kind of getting tired of that. But even though I am getting tired of that, I kind of still feel like I need to. So, and we're back. My name is Charbel Milan. Today we're on a timeshare. And today we got
William Rivera.
We got William Rivera. Man, we got a lot to dive into. We really do. We heard a lot about you, through Alexis. And, there's a lot of things that, we want to dive into. But something I like to do just right off the bat is I just like to, give you a moment, just tell the people about yourself, things that you feel like they should know before we dive into things.
All right, what's up, guys? My name's Will. I'm 21 years old, turned 21 in October, so not too long ago. I live in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm an entrepreneur, so I'm into the e-commerce industry. I sell products online. I run Facebook ads for other businesses. Basically anything marketing-wise or online-wise, I'm into that type of stuff. I've been doing entrepreneurship or online marketing for about 2 years now, 2.5 years now, so not too long. But yeah, man, I'm really passionate about basically making money on my own time and pursuing something that I'm passionate of. So
it's amazing, dude. It really is amazing. So, just to get things going, man, how you doing today? You doing good?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. It's a little cold out here, but I woke up early, so I'm off to a great start right now.
Feel productive?
Yeah.
Shit, dude. I had one of those trucks in front of me with all the rocks. Cracked my windshield on the way over here.
On the way over here?
Yeah, pissed as fuck. Well, it made that hole that'll probably end up cracking when I hit a bump or something.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway.
That's crazy.
A little off track. But, all right, man. So we got a lot to dive into. We really do. And I'm trying to think about how I want to pick at it, but I'm just going to go for it. So, you're a master in e-commerce. You're a master in, digital marketing, ads, Facebook, Instagram. We heard yesterday about that one Shopify store that you helped Alexis build up that, did what, 20 in 28 days. And we've heard a lot of good stuff, man, but now we have you here. We have you in the flesh. So just as far as the Facebook marketing goes, marketing in general, when did you first realize that not only there's a market for me to make money, but like, holy shit, like this can actually work. This can be something that I can do, not just watch a bunch of videos of other people doing.
Yeah, for sure. So I used to, I graduated from high school, went to college, just like, every, normal high school kid. I was going to Georgia Gwinnett College, so back in Gwinnett. And, I really was just like depressed in school. Like I wasn't passionate about any of the classes I was taking, struggling in a lot of the classes. I was never good at school, not even in high school. And it got to the point where I had a job and I had school, and it got to the point where I was more worried about making money than actual school. So, I just started picking up hella hours and just working very hard, working hard, not smart. So I started watching YouTube videos and try to find other ways to make money rather than, clocking in and out of a job. And I came across drop shipping, which is, basically selling products online without holding any inventory. It allows, a lot of people to be able to get into entrepreneurship, get into, starting your own business without having a lot of capital. And I just saw all these kids my age or younger doing it on YouTube. This was back in 2017. So I was like, dang, if they can do it, I can do it. And that was basically my mindset. But it didn't feel real until I started attending networking events in Georgia, because I wanted to meet, like-minded people, other entrepreneurs, basically other people that were on the same wave as me. And I met my business partner, Drew Evans, and he was actually drop shipping, and he lived in Georgia. So, it was different from seeing YouTube videos, seeing people on the screen that were doing it, than actually meeting someone in real life that was doing it. So when I met someone in real life that was doing it, that kind of confirmed to me like, okay, this is like really legit. Like this is possible for me to do. And that's kind of when I went hard with it. And, learning curve, man, it took me a year to figure it out. But when I did, I dropped everything, school, my job, and I just went full throttle with it. And now here we are today.
So you're obviously dedicated and you're passionate about your work, but it was something about seeing that confirmation. So it was almost like you didn't want to dive into it completely until you branched out, met a network, and ultimately saw that this is something that my time can provide me.
Yeah, and that's very important, man, because like literally if I wouldn't have met someone in real life that was doing it, I probably wouldn't be where I'm at today. And that's all about surrounding yourself around the right people. If I would have stayed with the same group of friends, and I still have friends that I was friends with in high school, but I'm saying if I would have never expanded my network, if I would have never, went out of my comfort zone, because naturally I'm an introvert, I'm pretty shy. I'm not shy anymore. I kind of grew out of that, but I'm still an introvert. You know, I went out of my comfort zone to go to these networking events and speak in front of a lot of people when I really didn't want to. And now a lot of my very close friends are the ones that I met at these networking events a while ago, like a year or 2 years ago. So if I would have never done that, then I wouldn't be where I'm at today.
Okay, so what I'm getting is that, once that you realize this is something that can actually make me money, that's when you dove head over heels into it. And was it that, you did all your research on your own, or was it still that you wanted to learn from the people you met? Or did you feel like, okay, now that I confirmed this, I can go get everything I need online like I already was?
So like before I even met Drew or any of the people at these networking events that were, doing it, killing it out here in entrepreneurship, I did months and months of research, pretty much a year worth of research on YouTube about drop shipping, online marketing, Facebook ads, social media marketing, all that. I was just doing hella research on YouTube. Honestly, too much research because I was forgetting what I was learning because I was just basically procrastinating, analysis paralysis. That's what I was going through. So too much research, not a lot of action. So once I met those people, that's when I started taking action. But I did quite a bit of research before I met them.
Do you think that's a problem a lot of people have? You mentioned something really important. You were doing so much research that you weren't even doing action, that you were almost not even soaking in what you were taking.
Yeah, that's very important because I wasn't taking action because as I was doing research, I was still skeptical. Okay. And I think a lot of people, especially nowadays, are very skeptical about things. They think everything's a scam. They think, oh, he can do it, but he's different. He grew up with money or he got lucky or like stuff like that. I feel like people just need to go out there and, take a chance, especially if you're young, you got nothing to lose. I mean, if you lose all your money, where are you going to be at? You're going to be at the same place you are now, either in school or still with your parents. So you got nothing to lose. I mean, I say take all the chances now while you have time to grow and live. So that's kind of my mindset with everything.
That's a really good perspective, especially when you look at it from the perspective of someone our age who, I mean, if you're in school, you could stay in school whether it works out or doesn't. And then if you're not in school, whatever you were doing then, you're still going to be doing. That's great, man. So at what point in time did you scale it to a point where you were like, first of all, I'm slick fi with this. Like it's working out and I'm making good money, above average money, but I also feel comfortable enough teaching it, which, will obviously segue us into, e-commerce degree your program.
Yeah, of course. So like it first started out when I got a job at first I was working at Amazon and I was going to college. And then it got to the point where I was like, I was more worried about making money. So I dropped out of college, started going full time with Amazon. And then I just felt like I was slaving. So I was like, I have no life. Like I'm literally working 6 p.m. to 4 a.m. every day, 10-hour shifts. I was getting fat. I wasn't hanging out with any of my friends. I was like, nah, I can't do this. I still need to make money, but I can't be working every day like this. So I got a job at LA Fitness that gave me more free time and it got me back into the gym. So started doing that, and that was during the time that I actually started taking a little bit of action towards dropshipping. I was already going to the networking events when I wasn't at work, and I started dropshipping as well as working at LA Fitness. And it got to the point where I started making, $50 a day on my store, $100 a day. It got to the point where I was making more money dropshipping than I was at my job. And as soon as I got to that point, I didn't hesitate. And I think that's a big reason of my success today is I pull triggers. As soon as I see an opportunity, I capitalize on it. I read something where it was like the richest people in the world, it's not so much about what they know. They just know how to make good decisions very quickly. They're just, they pull triggers.
I like that.
So, I stopped going to LA Fitness, started focusing all of my time on drop shipping. And, I scaled it from $50 a day to $100 a day to $200 a day to $1,000 a day and so on. And when I was posting on Instagram, man, it wasn't really so much about me teaching it at that point in time. This was like 2 years ago. It was more of me kind of wanting to document my journey. It was more for myself.
Okay.
And so I was just posting it basically just to see how far I have come. And
yeah, why not? The platform's there, it's free.
And it's great now because like when people follow me and they go through my highlights, under my bio, they see like 83 weeks ago, like 2 years ago of how, I first started out, and what I've scaled it to now. So,
a lot of people, they don't look at it that way, man. They don't look at it that, well, actually, screw that. They don't look at the fact that you don't come up overnight. I got a good friend of mine. He has a clothing company. I had him on the show. You might know him. You might not. His name is Jadena Ozo.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, that's my boy.
that's your boy?
Yeah.
There we go, man. Small world. So he was talking about, he said this one time, it's very vital. I took it and I use it in my everyday life, in my mindset. It's a very good point. He said that if you had to do it, if you had to come up overnight, that would almost be harder. That would almost be more work, more effort, more pressure, more anxiety. So it's kind of nice that we have time to grow. We have time to really manifest and see what we're actually trying to do. And, just like yourself, things don't take off overnight. And I feel like people drop them too quickly. And, it's almost like when people get put on to crazy things, and then you look back and just like you, it's like, oh, 2 years ago they were doing this, a year before that they were doing this. They were persistent on their grind. It's not like they knew a year back, oh, I'm gonna be like this podcast, for example, oh, I'm gonna be interviewing XYZ, or I'm gonna be today with William Rivera. You just kind of gotta go. You gotta pull the trigger quick, like you said. But I just wanted to touch on that. But you mentioned something really interesting that I think is interesting. You worked at Amazon while you started dropshipping?
Yeah, I was actually working in a fat Amazon warehouse. So I was seeing all these products come in and come out. And I was just like, dang, like,
What the hell?
Bezos is killing it, bro. Like, 'cause there's hella warehouses, all over the US, all over the world. And I was just like, dang, like, people are really like selling all this stuff online. Because in a warehouse, they house like FBA and dropshipping products, from sellers. So while I was getting into dropshipping and seeing all that stuff, it did inspire me a little. I was like, dang, one day I'm going to have, products in a warehouse like this being shipped out to my customers and stuff like that. So
yeah, that's exactly what I was going to touch on.
Yeah.
Like, did that kind of push you in the direction of, holy shit, this is the market. Like, this is what I want to get into, online e-commerce style sales.
Yeah, my mindset was kind of already there, but it definitely pushed me to the point where I was like, dang, e-commerce is really like huge. And it made me realize, Amazon's the #1 company in the world. And, they're an e-commerce, brand. They're an e-commerce company. And, all these malls, all these stores are closing down because they can't keep up with the small brands that are, spending all their budget on Facebook advertising, Instagram advertising, and doing millions in sales, all through online. A lot of these brands don't even have storefronts, and they're killing it just because most people just shop online nowadays, and it's only growing and growing. So, people ask me every year, really every day, they ask me, yo, is dropshipping dead? Like, is it too late to get into it and all that? And I was like, bro, when I first started out back in 2017, people were saying dropshipping is dead. It's all about your mindset, man. You got to have an abundant mindset. Wow. And it's never going to die because only more and more people are going to buy online.
Okay. So I don't know how Amazon works. I don't know how working there works, but were you a part of packaging products?
Yeah, I was a part of packaging products. Like a lot of products would come in like pallets, so there would be like a bunch of products on there. I would wrap them up, package them.
But you would wrap them up, right,
yeah.
for orders? Did that help you see what people were buying? Like, did you ever kind of sit there like, holy shit, people are actually buying this?
Yeah. I learned that people buy hella dog food online.
Yeah.
That's mostly what I was wrapping up, just hella dog food on pallets and stuff. I did see some cool products in there, but it was mainly like name brand products, that you find like in Walmart and stuff. And that's when I realized, like, bro, like, people aren't going to the grocery store, or people aren't going to Walmart anymore to buy these type of things, because we live in a world where, time is money. Why not just order it online and have it shipped to your doorstep? People, it's just crazy how things work nowadays. So it definitely shifted my mindset though, working there.
Okay. So before you even got into getting to the level where you were like, wow, I can teach this and I can provide, a program, I can give knowledge, before you even got there, did you acquire your knowledge, or did you strive to acquire your knowledge about Facebook ads because you wanted to market your own dropshipping sites, or were those just two separate things?
No, I definitely got into Facebook ads because I knew I needed it for my dropshipping stores.
Exactly, okay.
That was the only reason. It wasn't until I started seeing success on my stores using, Facebook ads and Instagram ads that I thought, my first thought wasn't, I can teach this. My first thought was, wow, I can do this for other businesses. And then that's when I got into my other business, which is a marketing agency. And I started pitching, other businesses, real estate agents, lawyers, dentists, that I could do Facebook ads for their business and drive them leads. And that's what started my marketing agency, which is what it is today. So that was my first thought. And then after I started getting really good at that and my store started taking off, then I eventually, a year later thought about teaching it.
What was, if you don't mind me asking, what was the product for the initial store?
So the first store that ever took off, my product, keep in mind, I want to say this just for anyone listening. It took me 7 stores before I made one sale.
One sale?
Yeah, it took me 8 months of work before I made one sale. So I mean, if you've made a couple stores, or if you haven't made any stores yet, don't think it's easy, and also don't give up, because like I said, if I would have given up after store number 5, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. I just kept it pushing. But yeah, my 7th store, it was a store called Spring Vibes, and my favorite niche to sell online is women's accessories, beauty, all that, because girls, they shop online, and they're not as picky as like what men buy, because men usually just go to the store, or they're more picky about what they buy online. So I just like selling women's products, but the product that I sold was a distance bracelet. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
Distance bracelet?
It's 2 bracelets. So one bracelet is white beaded, so it has hella white beads, and it has one black,
Oh.
and then the other bracelet's all black with the one white.
Damn,
So
man.
and how I came across that product is literally, I was just scrolling through Instagram, and I saw this one company selling it. And at first I didn't think much of it, but because I was so involved in the industry, I look at every ad I come across. I analyze every single ad I see. I go through the comments, see if people actually like the ad, if people are actually buying the product. That's just me. But I saw that one bracelet ad, and I was like, okay, that's a cool product. And I always go through the checkout process, because I want to see the retargeting campaigns. I want this company to send me emails.
Crazy,
like,
man.
Bro, like I'm so into the marketing.
Your
like,
mindset behind it's so interesting.
yeah, bro. Like if I see a product, like I'll click on it. I'll add it to cart. I'll check out. I'll go all the way to putting my email in, my address in, everything, and then I'll just exit out. If I like it that much, I might even buy it just so I can see the product in hand. But like I do all that because then they start sending me their email marketing. Then they start sending me their abandoned cart campaigns, and I reverse engineer all that, bro. Like if I like it, I'm gonna take some of their tactics. I'm gonna use it myself. But that was the first product I saw, and then weeks went by and I kept seeing it. Months went by and I kept seeing that product, and I was like, dang, they're still running this. They're still targeting me. They're still retargeting me. I was like, they have to be killing it with this product. And then that just started my store. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna sell the same thing. I'm gonna sell it better pictures, better description, and I'm gonna sell it cheaper. And that's exactly what I did. And then 4 months later, I sold 4,000 of those bracelets. I did around a little bit over 40,000 in sales. And
fucking tremendous, bro.
That was my first store. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. I'm really happy to hear that.
Appreciate it.
I love that you disconnected the ego. You were like, oh yeah, fuck this ad, mine's gonna be better. No, you were like, whoa, this is a really good ad. Not only is it a really good ad, but all the way up until checkout, I'm involved. Then they're also hitting me back up, and they reverse engineered it. Damn, dude.
Yeah, bro. Never reinvent the wheel, bro. Just,
figure out a better way to spin it.
Yeah, man. Just study the successful people. There's already successful people out there. There's books out there. You may not ever speak to Mark Cuban or any billionaires out here, but they have books. You can, when you read a book by them, it's like having a conversation with them. Or these brands that are already successful out here, you can study them. You can see what they did to get to where they are today. So I always tell people, use your resources and just never reinvent the wheel. Just study from other successful people, other successful brands.
Okay, so that was Shopify. That was, your first not launch, but your first success found in e-commerce. And then you also acquired knowledge about ads, Facebook ads, Instagram ads to help promote your business, and just because why not? So then at what point in time were you like, damn, I just crushed 40K in sales on a bracelet that I had seen posted for who knows how long?
Yeah.
At what point in time were you like, I'm like, fine. Not only am I fine, but I might have my own way of doing this that I could teach, that I could provide value, added value in the form of a course, in the form of, e-commerce degree U.
Mm-hmm.
You got 300 plus students, right?
Yeah, we have like around 350 something students now.
Killing it, man.
Yeah, appreciate it. It wasn't until I started another store after that one, selling similar products. We get a little bit over 100,000 in a couple months. And then, just very numerous stores, man, numerous partnerships. After that, I was like, dang, like, because at first, of course I had friends hitting me up like, yo, like, what are you doing? A lot of my friends were skeptical at first because, to be honest, man, it took me a minute to actually start documenting my journey because like I said, I'm an introvert, and back then I actually cared what people thought. I don't know why. I don't
We
now,
all
and
did, right?
and I don't suggest you do either. But back then I cared what people thought. So like I hesitated to post about drop shipping or any like e-commerce stuff because I was like, dang, like people have known me for like so long, and I've never posted any entrepreneurial stuff on my profile. Like I wonder what they're gonna think. Like, are people gonna unfollow me? Like that was like a huge thing to me. And then it wasn't until I got over that hump where I was like, you know what, like I don't care. Like
I'm making money.
I'm gonna do whatever I want to do. And I started going hard on that. Like I started going live every day talking about e-commerce. A lot of my friends, like I said, they were probably skeptical, didn't know what I was talking about. But eventually, you know, started seeing some success. People started hitting me up. And at first it was just, you know, me teaching people for free. You know, I had my boy Dez hit me up. I don't know if you know him, Des Howard. He was playing football at the time, and he was hitting me up like, yo, bro, what are you doing? You got to teach me. I taught him. He started seeing success with drop shipping.
Wow.
Started creating stores, you know, making several thousands. My boy Ryan hit me up. He started hitting me up about drop shipping. Instead of going to summer school, you know, he took off. He started learning from me. He started seeing success, you know, making several thousands.
So it's living truth.
Yeah, later on, you know, Lex hit me up, Pat hit me up. Now they both have successful stores. They can make dropshipping stores, very high quality stores. You know, they know how to Facebook advertise, all that. So, you know, it wasn't until I helped, you know, tons of friends that I was like, you know what, I can do this for a lot of people, but I don't have time to teach everyone one-on-one, you know? So that was kind of the idea for Ecom Degree U. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna create a program where, you know, instead of having to teach everyone one-on-one or multiply myself 100 times, I can just take people here and they can learn everything I know and learn as I grow, because I update the program as well.
Oh, okay. So it's continuing to update.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, Lex mentioned that yesterday, that him and was it Pat? I think it was Pat. Yeah, him and Pat. Oh God, I don't want to be wrong about it. All right, let's say it was him and Pat. I think it was. They were doing the they were teaching people how to sell shoes, and they're really good. And you were the one that really pushed them, like, what the hell are you guys doing? You got to make a course. You got to make a course.
Yeah.
And they said if it wasn't for, well, they didn't say, but Lex was like, you really pressed them to make the course, and they buckled down for 3 days, made that course, and changed everything.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm a big believer of, like, a lot of people, you know, they're hesitant, or they're scared to think, like, you know, why should I make a course? You know, am I even an expert enough, or am I even knowledgeable enough to make a course and teach people? And I'm all for, you know, creating courses and like teaching people, because I feel like if you have something that, you know, took you a minute to learn, you know, years to learn, you know, it's a service to make a program or make a school or put out content to help other people. You know, I have people that DM me every day and they're like, bro, like, I needed to see this. Like, when I post like motivational stuff, or when I post just stuff about my life on my Instagram story, you know, I don't post it because I want to see it. I post it because I know out of the thousands of followers I have, one of them is going to see this and they're going to resonate with it, and it's going to help them. Because I know when I was coming up and when I was on Instagram following other entrepreneurs, you know, I resonated with content that they posted, and it inspired me and pushed me to, you know, take action and do stuff that I now do today.
Jeez, man, that's really inspirational right there. It's not even, to you, it's not even about the success. It's about, well, actually, let me stop myself. It's not even about the money. You define success as helping other people. Just even if it's one person out there that needed to hear that. Sort of like this podcast, you know? People might be clicking on it and laughing about it, man. But there might be that one person, that two people that changes everything for them.
Yeah, man. I mean, the money's going to come. If you're able to help people, the money's going to come. If you can help thousands of people, you're going to make thousands of dollars. If you can help millions of people, you're going to make millions of dollars. So that's always been my mindset. You know, the more people I help, the more money I'm going to make. Worry about the people first, and the money's going to come.
Fantastic. All right, so you have 300 plus students, and, you know, continuing to grow, of course. So let's say I'm a student, and you know what? I don't know shit. And now I'm going to come to you, and I'm going to buy the course. Doesn't even matter how much it is. I'm just going to buy it. Without obviously, you know, giving content away, what are some of the things that I can expect as a student of yours?
Okay, yeah, so the program's full A to Z. You know, you're going to learn first. It literally, like, if you're a complete beginner, you know, it's still for you, because it literally in the beginning teaches you what dropshipping is, you know, what I've done in this industry, exactly how to create a store, my exact product research methods, basically the full, you know, A to Z of what I know, the 2 years, you know, the hundreds of thousands of dollars that I've spent and lost in the industry. You're going to know how I lost it, why I lost it, all my W's, all my L's. You're going to know, you know, you're going to know the ins and outs. I think the most valuable thing about the program, though, isn't even the program itself. It's the community, because you'll be added into the Ecom degree, the group chat of all my students, some of which are making 6 figures now, because I have some students that are killing it. You're going to be added into that community where you can talk to people that have already taken the course, that are already seeing success, and you can ask them questions. You can ask me questions. So it's really a big family, and I think that's the most valuable asset to the program than the program itself.
But the community.
Yeah. But it's definitely helpful, man. Cause like me for example, everything I learned was through scattering through YouTube, and not everything on YouTube is correct or the right information. So I tell people all the time, yeah, bro, you can learn. You don't have to take the program. You can learn by doing research on YouTube, because that's what I did. But it took me a year.
To speed up the process. Here's all of it, everything that you need at least condensed into a course.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. That's crazy, man. I really like it. I really like the vision that not only did I acquire success, but now I want to share it. Now I want to start a community and ultimately allow other people to find success. Great. So I'm about to turn the conversation completely around in a great direction. So tell me about WakePen. Tell me your side of WakePen.
All right, so Wake.
It just doesn't stop, right? It's just boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, so Wake. So Wake is a company I started with my boys Alexis and Patrick. We started it basically because we started seeing Juul just trending, all these teens using Juuls. And this was before like Juul started killing people. Like this was just when people were just on it. And we just believed that a lot of people were using Juul just because it was trendy, and it was just kind of like a cool thing to do. So we just wanted to create like a revolutionary energy pen where you could use it, you could still feel cool using it, but it didn't have any toxic chemicals or any toxic ingredients in it. So that's kind of why we created it, to basically, have it for the youth, have it for the teens, but get people off the Juul product.
Yeah, Lex yesterday was talking about a lot of people, man, they don't even care for the nicotine. They just like to hit something. They just want to, whether it's to feel cool or to look cool or just because they like the throat hit, they just like to hit something, right? So was that almost not necessarily like, what I'm trying to say is, did that kind of help push the product, that the fact that like people are going to hit anything, let's put something in their hand that not only has, you keep going.
Definitely. I mean, it doesn't have any nicotine in it. It's just caffeine, vitamin B12, a couple other ingredients. You can find them on the website, wakepen.com. But
the guarana extract?
Yeah, guarana extract, all that. But that was definitely something we thought of. We were like, bro, like a lot of people, they just like seeing smoke come out their mouth. So we were like, bro, if we can design something dope, make it look cool, have great content on Instagram, because social media is a big thing nowadays. If you have great content on Instagram, if you have a great brand, people buy it, just for the brand. Like for example, Nike, Adidas, all these brands, like they sell clothing. You can find clothing in Goodwill, but why do people buy a Nike black tee over a non-brand black tee? You feel me? It's just because the brand. It's the way the brand makes you feel. It's the way the brand looks. So branding is everything. So that was our idea with Wake. And also we used like a lot of caffeine pens in the past too. Before we had a Wake, me, Lex, and Pat, we would stay up late night, like till 4 a.m., 5 a.m. just grinding.
Working.
And we didn't want to drink energy drinks. I was drinking a lot of like Red Bull, Monster, and I was like, damn, I don't want to keep drinking this stuff. So we came across like caffeine pens, which have like similar ingredients to Wake. And we started puffing on those at night, and we just thought it was a very cool concept. And we started looking into the brands that we were buying from, for the caffeine pen brands that we were buying from, and we realized that their branding was like awful.
Trash, right?
Yeah, it was like it was marketed to like old men or like people that really weren't buying the product. So we kind of just changed the branding up, added what we wanted to add to the pen, design wise, everything, and now Wake is what it is today.
Right. So it is categorized obviously as a vape, even though it has no nicotine.
Yeah.
So what are some of the issues that you're not facing, but that you have a fear of facing with all this shit going on with Juul? Well, to be honest, man, I just love saying this because it's really not vaping that's killing people. It's nicotine salts. It's concentrated nicotine.
Yeah.
That's what's doing it. But anyway, we'll just say vape. I hate to say that 'cause I used to vape back in the day.
Yeah.
But I just hate saying that, but whatever. So, okay, vaping, right? So let's say they do end up banning vapes altogether. I know they just did the 21 now to even buy tobacco. And then they did away with all the flavors. So now you can only get like Virginia tobacco and all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
So what kind of things are you worried about as far as Wake?
So what we're worried about is, knowing that there's no nicotine in the product, that there's nothing harmful in the product, the Wake, because the way it's designed and because smoke comes out, it's classified as, like you said, like a vape or an e-cigarette. And there has been talks about bans coming out for all e-cigarettes in the US. So that's kind of like something we worry about. Something that if that happens, there's really nothing we can do about it. But we're always thinking ahead. We're always 10 steps ahead. We actually had we're talking to international companies now. So we're actually about to have Wakes in Paris, at a couple vape stores all over France. We're about to take Wake worldwide. So if a US ban does happen, we're still going to be healthy, man. We're still going to be all over, international, all over overseas. And we're going to continue creating merch. So we're going to have the merch, the hoodies, the shirts, basically the brand represented here in the US. But if you want the pen, that would be overseas if the US does go ahead with that e-cigarette ban.
Okay. Damn, so how do you acquire the connections out there in Europe, man? France, Italy, all those kind of places. How did you acquire those connections? Because Lex said that was your end of it, that you had the, it wasn't a supplier. It was someone that was also trying to rep the product.
Yeah. Honestly, bro, Instagram.
Really?
Instagram's powerful, bro. And
that's what made this happen.
Yeah, exactly. And people don't realize like how much money is on Instagram. Literally, I've made all my money on Instagram. Like e-commerce as well. Like I run all my ads to Instagram. All my connections I've made them on Instagram. For example, like this podcast, like you said, we wouldn't have done it if it wasn't a DM,
DM.
It's crazy how much money you can make or how many connections you can make just from a DM. And that's literally what started the international Wake thing. The dude reached out to me. He DM'd me because he wanted help with his clothing line. He has a pretty big clothing line out there in Paris. And he reached out to me because my Instagram page is my business card. It shows credibility. Because of me documenting everything I've done, because of me posting results every day, I'm not flexing. I'm doing that because my Instagram is my business card, bro. Yeah. Like when people meet me, I don't hand them a piece of paper and say, yo, my number's on there. Text me, call me. I tell them, follow me on Instagram because that's where all my credentials are. That's where like everything business-wise is. You can check my Instagram and immediately know, what I do, what I've done, so
what you stand for.
Exactly. So I got a DM on Instagram from this guy. He wanted help with his clothing line. And, I was helping him. We were just chatting it up in the DMs. And eventually it just led to him, telling me like he has a big marketing agency in France. He's connected with a lot of French influencers. And we just got to talking, got on calls, and we made it happen.
Isn't that crazy, man? You guys are in France now. You have a connection out in France, and it's almost like a back door. If shit hits the fan here, you're already doing business out there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and it's all about having that abundant mindset. Like I said earlier, a lot of people, they get hit with an obstacle like that and they don't know what to do, or they immediately, start putting their head down like, damn, this is it,
End of the road.
It's an end, but nah, you got to be creative. You got to have an abundant mindset and you just got to keep going,
Wow. All right. So, you're a teacher, an influencer ultimately, and you're an entrepreneur. So I know that you're gonna have a very interesting take on this, but how do you feel about time management? And not necessarily time management literally, but as far as prioritizing your life to be successful, but at the same time to not lack as far as, disconnect from people, miss out on certain things. Because at the end of the day, it's not all about money, but, we're all trying to chase the bag. So how do you manage your time with all the stuff that you got going on, 300 plus students? Like, I know that's got to be hard. You said you're going to be in New York, right? You got to...
Yeah, I got I'm actually gonna be in Florida next week, and then I gotta be in Chicago by the end of the month.
Damn.
But and I do gotta go back to New York. I love New York.
Love New York.
Shout out to Les for taking me there. But bro, time management is $1 million skill. It's $1 billion skill. I'm still trying to master time management. If you can master that, then you know, you're gonna be successful. Like there's times where, like for example, this meeting, you know, I had to manage everything. Like I'm gonna show you after the podcast, but I got a planner in my book bag. I literally monitor every 15 minutes of the day. I have a planner that separates every 15 minutes of the day. Like it's literally, you know, 7 to 7:15 to 7:30. I'm very strategic with what I spend time on because, you know, we only have 24 hours in a day.
Best saying ever, right?
Yeah, and we're not up for all those 24 hours, unfortunately. And time is everything, man. Like money comes and goes, time you'll never get back. So you know, I watch a lot of videos on time management. I try to study the greats. Like I said, bro, I don't reinvent the wheel. You know, I try to see, you know, what's Mark Cuban's schedule like, or like what's his schedule like. You know, I watch those type of videos, just trying to see what strategies and tactics and morning habits, morning routines I can take from other people. But time management is everything, man, and I'm still struggling to master it. But I'm trying. Like, you know, sometimes I wake up late and I feel like, dang, like, my day is not even like I just feel ass. I'm like, damn, half my day's gone.
Yeah.
So time management is definitely a $1 billion skill. Still trying to master it, and I think it's very, very important. Probably one of the most important things when it comes to success, right next to consistency.
See, I love that you said time is all you got. Like, I don't know if I think I did mention this in the elevator, but the show's called A Time Shared. Because, you know, I think that people are missing out on that. People are so focused on the money. They're so focused on the fame. They're so focused on whatever it is that they want to do, their business, their little niche, whatever it is, that they're almost missing out on just spending quality time right here, you know, long form conversation and really getting to dive into certain topics and see how other people are doing things. Like you said, Mark Cuban, you can read the book, or all these different people that ultimately, you know, we're not trying to create our own wheel. We're just trying to critique it in our own way to where it works for us. So do you think that that's a big thing people are missing out on, man? They're just trying to kind of do it their own way. They don't want help. They don't want anything to do with anyone else. They just want to skyrocket themselves, but it doesn't work that way because you got to have a network. Just like this podcast, just like anything you've done, you got to branch out. You have to spend time with people, and, you know, it's going to be for free. And what I'm trying to say is you got to find meaning in spending time with people and acquiring skills that you can't buy, like time management. So how do you feel about people like mismanaging their time as far as undervaluing the asset that time even is?
They need to fix it, man. A lot of people have ego issues. You know, they feel like, you know, what do I look like reaching out to him? Or like, what do I look like getting help from him? Or what do I look like paying for help from that person or this company or whatever? You know, it's an ego thing. And as soon as you get out of your comfort zone, as soon as you get over your ego and realize that using, you know, having help from others, paying for coaching, paying for time, all that, you know, it's going to make you more successful. It's going to speed up your success time. So I think that's a big thing, especially in Atlanta, man. People in Atlanta walk around with huge egos, and I've noticed that.
For no reason, right?
But yeah, man, like people need to get over that and know that the more people, the better, you know?
Wow. So as far as living in Atlanta, you know, I know that, you know, everything you do is on the internet pretty much, but I know networking is a big part of it. How has living in Atlanta and primarily in the heart of downtown, how has that helped your entire platform?
Bro, it's helped tremendously. You know, I've met a lot of cool people in this building, you know, a lot of entrepreneurs in this building, a lot of business people, entrepreneurs in the city in general. Being in the city, you know, it's easy to go to meetings and stuff, go to like business offices, all that, you know, it's all close by. So I love it. You know, I love living here. But I'm actually moving out. I'm moving towards a little bit north of the city.
So like
actually a little bit south of Atlanta, to a house with one of my boys.
Like Decatur area?
Yeah, that area.
Not
but
bad.
yeah, I mean, I love living in the city, man. Living here for a year, it definitely helped me a lot, and I don't regret anything of it.
Bet. I like that, man. All right, so I bring this up on every podcast because I just love to get people's take on this. I had a misconception about this. I find that a lot of people have a very big misconception about this, and ultimately, I feel like it holds them back. But when you define success, right? How do you define success? Because I feel like a lot of people define success financially. They define success as an object that they want to achieve, a goal that they want to get, but it's always surrounded around money. It's always surrounded around, oh, I got to have the big house. I got to have the fast car. I got to have the section at the club. How do you define success in a way that isn't financial? And if it is financial, how do you define success?
Dude, that's a tough question. Honestly, I define success by you ultimately knowing who you are and chasing your dreams and being okay with knowing that it's not going to be an easy route there, but pursuing it anyways. That's success to me, when you can talk to someone and you're open about your goals and you're open about where you want to be, and you have that abundant mindset and you have that winner's mindset to where you're going to get there. It might take a long time, but you're going to get there and you have the end in mind. That's success to me. When I talk to someone and I hear their goals and I can tell that they have passion in what they're doing, and I can tell that they're going to work until they get to where they want to be, even if they're already at a high point in life or they're not, they're striving to get there. That's success to me. A lot of people, they're not even confident enough, or they don't have the mental capabilities, or they're not mentally tough enough to even, strive for their goals or talk about their goals because they're just not there yet. So, I mean, if you're there mentally, that's success to me.
Wow. Yeah, man. Well, as far as the course, as far as e-commerce, as far as anything that you're doing, what do we plan to see next? What do we plan to see out of William Rivera, the man himself? What are we looking for? What are the 2020 goals is what I'm trying to get at.
2020 goals.
For you personally.
For me personally, I want to connect more with God. I feel like I haven't really been in touch with my faith as much. I've been more focused on business, and I think that's a bad thing. So
respect that.
Definitely that. Second, I want 1,000 students in ecom degree at least. I'm going to grow my following on multiple platforms, not just Instagram. I post on Twitter now. I'm on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, all that. So definitely, spread my voice more, because the more people I help, like I said, the money is going to come. So I just want to help more people on different platforms, post more content. My long-term goal is I actually want Ecom Degree University to be an actual university. I actually want a college campus based around e-commerce, have a building of Facebook ads, a building of Instagram, a building of just, e-commerce, what goes around it, business formation, all that. So that's my long-term vision, to have that going and charge way less than what colleges are charging for tuition now.
To give you real knowledge.
Yeah.
Love it, bro. Damn, man. Well, on that topic, right? People, they're coming to this channel, man. They're coming to listen to people like you. And the only way that we can provide value in doing that is by allowing them to leave with ultimately just a mindset, just a piece of, maybe I'm not doing ads, maybe I'm not doing XYZ, but maybe I can get the mindset of a successful person who is doing ads, who is doing fashion designing, who is a rapper. And maybe I can apply that in my own life and see results. So if there was something that you wanted someone to leave with today, it would obviously be a mindset. What kind of mindset do you think people need to have in order to be successful, no matter what the field is?
The mindset is start everything with the end in mind. Start everything with the end in mind. If you just start something and you're thinking like, dang, like I'm so far away from where I want to be, you're never gonna get there. But if you start with the end in mind and know what you can ultimately be later on, or ultimately what you can ultimately get to later on, it's gonna motivate you to keep working. Also having a strong why, why do you want to do this? Why are you striving for that goal? Is it to help someone is it to help someone close to you? Is it to help family? Is it just for your personal self? Having a strong why and waking up and remembering why you're waking up early, or why you're doing what you're doing, is going to help you towards your goal. So that's definitely something that helps me. I don't do this for myself. I do this for my family. I do this for my mom, my brothers that are in Ohio. So having a strong why is definitely going to help you.
Wow. Damn, man. Well, that's crazy. So what about, pretty much what you just said is visualization. How do you feel about visualization? Do you feel like before you go into anything, you should already have your end goal in mind, as far as like literally what I want to see, where I want to be, and how I want things to be? Or should you kind of just pick a road, shoot for it, have the end goal in mind, but just kind of leave the whole journey up to the universe,
Yeah, definitely, man. That's the law of attraction. I believe.
So you believe in the law of attraction?
I believe in the law of attraction 100%. I have another podcast where I actually touched on that. But basically, like, yeah, bro, like before I even had success with dropshipping, I would write in my journal every day, like, when I wasn't making any money, you know, I would write in my journal like I'm gonna hit a $1,000 day. Like I'm gonna hit a $1,000 day. Like drop shipping is gonna be my way out of the system. Like I would write that in my journal like 100 times. Like I would write it every day, just to install it into my mind that I was gonna do that. So the law of attraction is real, man. I always wanted to live in the city. I always told myself I was gonna live in the city. I didn't know when it was gonna happen. I didn't know how long it was gonna take me, but you know, here I am. So definitely always have the end goal in mind. I mean, if you can dream it, you can do it. You know, I've always been told that if you can dream, you know, success, if you can go to sleep and see where you want to be, you know, you can do it in real life. If another man's done it, then you can do it too. You know, there's a beautiful story that I was listening to it was on an audiobook, and it was about the dude that ran a 4-minute mile. It was like way back. It was like a long time ago, but a lot of people have ran a 4-minute mile now, but it was basically back then, you know, no one had ever ran a 4-minute mile, and it wasn't until this dude did it that hella people started doing it. And basically what that taught me is like, man, like people won't believe they can do something until someone else, you know, actually does it. So why not be that someone that does it? That's one way to look at it. Why not be that someone that does that thing that motivates others to do the same thing you're doing? And for example, if you want to be a millionaire, you know, there's hundreds of millionaires out there. So obviously it's doable. There's a lot of billionaires out there. So obviously it's doable, you know. Same for drop shipping, same for, you know, even for you, bro. Like there's tons of people with a successful podcast. So why can't you have that? You know, obviously you can't. Yeah. You know, it's doable.
Oh yeah, man.
So that's my mindset with everything.
That's what I'm trying to do, man. I'm trying to just kind of go into it as a passion project, and I'm just enjoying doing this as a hobby, because I don't know if people like think I'm automated or something, but like I'm here right now. I'm getting the knowledge. I'm learning. I like to go into every situation to learn, man, because I used to box back in the day, and the mindset that I learned from boxing that I ultimately got from my coach was, if you lose a fight, it's because you lost a fight. But in reality, you don't lose. You win or you learn. You recalibrate, you go back in there and you kick ass. And I feel like that's not seen a lot today. That's not taught a lot today. And you kind of touched on this, but you talked about breaking out of the system. Society doesn't want people like you, man. They don't want people like me. They don't want people who are out here doing it the other way, because it's not that it's, you know, kind of taking up space, but that's just not what's taught. That's not what people think is possible. So I love when we see someone like you who's out here grinding, who's out here living truth that you can do something. That's the whole reason I have this show, man. It's exactly what you said. You're that 4-minute mile, whether you want to see it or not. I think you are. You're out here doing it. You started a fucking program. You got 300 people eating. Like, that's a 4-minute mile. And you even said it yourself. It wasn't until you met somebody that was doing it that you even believed that you could do it.
Yeah,
so,
and that was my 4-minute mile.
You know what I mean? So the snake just keeps eating itself. But it's just, I feel like there's a lot to be found in just getting out there, disconnecting the ego, and just going for it, man. Just like you said, pulling the fucking trigger. We're having this conversation. We're here in Atlanta, and shit's great. But hell yeah, man. I really appreciate your time, you know?
Yeah, no problem. I want to leave them with one more thing, man.
Bro,
if you're listening to this podcast, if you're listening to this podcast right now and you got a business idea in your head right now, or you got something that you've been putting off, bro, just pull the fucking trigger, bro. And that's just what I want to leave you with.
Pull the fucking trigger, man. Just fucking pull it, right?
Yeah. Facts.
Damn. Well, hey, man. Everyone that's coming to this channel, they fuck with you. They support you. They want to get involved, and they want to be able to reach out to you. So if you just want to take a moment, shout out all the Instagram pages, shout out the degree, shout out the program, shout out my WakePen, fucking everything, bro.
Yeah, for sure, bro. If you want to see more of my content, see more of what I'm about, or just learn e-commerce, all that, you can follow me on Instagram at William_Rivera. Follow me on Twitter at TheWillRivera. And I have a YouTube channel as well. All those links are in my Instagram. If you want to find out more about WakePen, that's at WakePen on at my WakePen on Instagram, my WakePen. That's what it is on Twitter as well. And if you want to get into the program, that's ecomdegreeuniversity.com, ecomdegreeuniversity.com. Yeah, guys, those are all the links. DM me. My DMs are always open. I'm always open to questions. So let's chat.
Hey, man, you're clearly a very busy guy, but you were able to squeeze in an hour for us, and I really appreciate that shit, man.
Of course.
Fucking William Rivera, the man himself. I'm Charbon Milan. We got
William Rivera.
This has been a time shared. Thank you so much.